Michael, you've had a full season in Toronto under your belt now, albeit one interrupted by the World Cup. As you go in to think ahead to the preseason next year, are you feeling optimistic about this franchise? Do you feel that there are only a few select moves that have to be made around this core? What do you see in the future?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited. We certainly realize that after the season that we had, we have to get better. We have to improve. We have to find the right ways to make ourselves better. And that's going to include bringing in new players. That's going to include certain guys moving on, but that's sports. And so, for anybody who was on the inside of that locker room this year, there's still a feeling like things are absolutely headed in the right direction, and it didn't necessarily mean that things finished the way we all wanted this year, because we had certainly a goal of making the playoffs and then seeing where we could take it from there. And when you're not able to achieve that, then there's a deep sense of disappointment. But there's still a strong feeling that we're going in the right direction. We need to find a way to get the right types of players in, and also get the right types of men in. And so, everybody who's here, players, coaches, staff, management, everybody's on the same page in terms of where we need to take this, and there's a huge desire and big commitment to make sure that we can get there.
Michael, it's obviously a results-based business, and some people have pointed to the fact that under Ryan Nelson, the club had a better record than under Greg Vanney. But aside from the results, what did you see under Coach Vanney that showed encouraging signs of this club being able to move forward?
I think when you look at a lot of the games at the end of the season, there was still positives to take from almost every game. Obviously, Greg took over at the beginning of a crazy week. We played a home and away with Philadelphia within, I believe he took over on Sunday, and we played in Philadelphia on Wednesday, and then home to Philadelphia on the Saturday. And given how quick the turnaround was, and the way things went, those were always going to be difficult games. And I think once we got through those two games, I think there was a real improvement every week in terms of what we were about, in terms of the way we played, in terms of our organization, in terms of tactically trying to understand what the game was going to be about and make it difficult for the other team. And so, look, it doesn't, just because there's improvement and just because you do some of those things, there's no guarantees ever that the results are what you want. Football still comes down to making plays in big moments at both ends of the field. And I think when you look back in some of the games at the end of the year, we weren't able to do that. Whether it was a goal at the right time, whether it was blocking a shot in the right moment, or the margin for error is so small. The margin between winning and losing is so fine that these are the plays that can make the difference. And I think if you look closely, maybe that's where we let ourselves down. You know, the final pass, the finish, being able to take care of a play defensively. But again, we'll use all these things to make ourselves better, to learn, to push ourselves, and still come back next year ready right from the first day of preseason to in a positive way pick up where we left off, if that makes sense. You know, obviously with Greg and with the guys who were here, there's an understanding now of what we're about, of how things need to be better, and I think it means that from the first day we're going to be ready to get to work.